one. Okay, we're back.
So you've just beaten the ice gym.
Yeah, where to?
The ferry Team Star Crew.
That's not it.
Yeah, no, like ferry's the top one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Mario Plus Rabbids surprised me by how actually good it was.
Hope you have some good anti-fairy Pokemon.
What's good against fairy?
Poison and steel.
They'd be fine.
Funny enough, I did the same thing where I just kind of like, literally just fucking air read my way out of there.
You know what's a good tactics game that's not challenging enough? Persona 5 Tactica. The game itself is okay, but I like the combat a lot. Electric.
I think that's also a rock type. Maybe the Gabite?
Alright, I'll use Gabite. It's only 1 star.
Should be fine. It's an electro type.
I was showing off my Dame Fletcher and I showed my copy of Tactica and this guy was like, that's the most disappointing game I've ever seen.
Funny story, every time I think of Tactica, all I can think of the fact that it looks like paint stocking.
It looks like Puyo Puyo, but Tactica, I don't think it's a bad game, but it's definitely the worst spin-off of the 5 era, at least.
How does it compare to the worst of the 4?
The worst of the 4 is dancing.
Oh yeah, it's way worse. If it was worse than the dancing games, it's definitely worse than Persona 4 dancing.
I'll elaborate when we come back. What a great ball. Nice. No, I don't want to give Neckley a nickname, actually. Nestle? Neckley? I don't know. Oh, shit. That's right. Oh, yeah. 10 nest balls. Ooh, 100 Stardust. This is not the right way, is it? Santa! Oh, I didn't throw a quick ball. That's why. Quick ball. I just caught triagonal.
Pretty sure your cutting board, almost for a second, I thought your cutting board looked like it said boobs.
No, my cutting board's too generic.
Well, was that not a cutting board? It was like a big wooden block.
Probably a cutting board. Anyway.
It actually said like 800 or something like that. With an S at the end.
So, I don't hate Tactica, but it's definitely the weakest of the P5 spin-offs.
Probably also introduces the weakest out of the new characters.
Arena's just there. Well, I like Arena, but she's there. Toshiro, the story pretty much revolves around him. And I like him, but it's kind of telling when, the game has a lot of pacing issues as well. It's kind of telling when, they're called kingdoms in this, but the first kingdom is literally just half the story. And there's 4.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's almost as bad as Persona 5 peaking in its first dungeon.
Not.
Piss off!
But you see, the first dungeon doesn't have Chicago.
I know, but I'm just making a joke about how everyone seemingly agrees that Kamoshida is the strongest villain Persona 5 had.
And then Maruki happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like, they divide into like missions, aka like levels where you do set objectives to progress the story. And there's like around 50. The first dungeon alone takes up like 28. So
it feels to me like they felt that this game was bigger in scope, and then they had to stop developing it like midway into development.
Strikers had like the full 8 palette system again, and Strikers was a blast because it was actually just Persona 5 2. This game takes place, quote, during Persona 5, like after the main story, before the ending where Joker leaves, and that just kind of made me lose a bit of interest because I thought
also they had to introduce Kasumi through DLC.
That too, and they said it during the 6th Palace story part, where because they also have a Akechi there, and the dumbest thing, if you buy the DLC, you can't even use them in the main story until you're at New Game Plus.
Damn.
I just want a P5 spin-off. I just want one last P5 spin-off that like actually properly concludes the story arc during like the winter break or something.
You have Strikers.
Strikers was the summer break, and in that they're like, "Blew me again in the winter break." Still waiting for that backlist.
It's kind of like how the arena games take place in between the first time skip, and the dancing takes place during the second time skip.
Yeah. Dancing actually takes place after the epilogue.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm with that.
I've been actually writing down notes because I'm gonna put them in the video because we said a lot of incorrect shit, and I don't want us to be seen as like blatant liars. So I
correct away. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I'm also listing fun facts. Like I browsed the Madame Tensei wiki to make sure is what we're saying legit.
Or our memory is terrible, which mine is actually.
Like I said, Naruto can't learn this skill. Turns out she actually can. Ebihara only falls for Ko. Turns out she can fall for Daisuke. Depends on which club you pick.
I don't know. I've never actually played Daisuke's club.
Depends on which one you pick. But the result's still the same, and Daisuke is just not interested.
I don't know. Code just feels like the correct choice. Maybe it's bad that the anime had Code's storyline. Maybe it's bad that Code's storyline's just plain better.
Maybe it's
about that Daisuke always felt like an afterthought when you look at his design.
Maybe it's the fact that Atlas has a thing for blue-haired people.
Yeah.
I have two notes at the beginning of the Persona 5 section. This is recorded before the worldwide release of P5X was announced.
Oh yeah, maybe it's about that Cole looks like he belongs to Persona 4, while Daisuke feels like his design is still like a leftover from Persona 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his design is just off.
What? In the beginning of Persona 4, I said this was recorded before the remake was announced.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it was. It's worth knowing that Akechi was originally planned to be Makoto and Sai's brother, which is why their eye color is the same.
Who?
Akechi.
Oh, yeah.
It was scrapped really early, so don't look too deep into it.
I find that the funnier brother theory is the idea that Futaba is the daughter of the main villain, so she's actually Akechi's sister.
I did see that. Hifumi was not meant to be a fan of these originally. While there was a scrap scene that used the same design, it is not the same character.
That I believe.
That is just a common misconception. That is a common misconception, though.
I think it's because the art book wasn't translated first when people were seeing those concept arts.
Unused dialogue implies that Sai was planned to be romanceable.
I can believe that. I can also believe that they ditched it because they realized that's stupid.
Alright. At least in Persona 4. Regarding you couldn't fully name Narukami in the PS2 version. You can name him Persona Q and Q2, and in those games there was a 6 character limit, so you couldn't spell
That's the game I was thinking of.
So you couldn't spell Narukami fully. Yeah. The tutor social link can be started as early as May 26th, but it requires max understanding to even do it.
Yeah. By the time you have that, you should have most of the party.
Yeah. Usually. Oh, this base.
Yep.
The shadows only spawn when opening the door, and the Murray's dungeon is only on 3 different floors. Something that I remembered is that between my first and second playthroughs, I actually repressed my memory of Hanako. So when I saw her again, I was genuinely surprised.
An ancient demon has been sealed away and has now been unsealed.
Well, there was a 4-year gap between those playthroughs, so... And I kind of forgot most of the stuff that happened, which kind of made it more fun to go back and revisit it. Can't wait for the remake. 10 more years of discourse incoming. Persona 3. Steven refers to the dark hour as the midnight hour a lot. You're just gonna have to deal with it.
I don't know, man. I don't know why, but the midnight hour was like what I remembered.
The original Persona 3 wasn't designed with the idea that you could finish every social link in one run. Although it is possible and very difficult, which is probably why there's no platonic route for the girls. But still, that's dumb.
And it's also true before. Like, they didn't expect you to be doing that.
Until Golden, because the trophy popped up.
Mm-hmm.
At least with later games, they made it actually easier with the idea of doing that. And I know people will say, it's too easy, but it sucks. Shut up. I posted recently, did you know Persona 3 Reload is very awesome? And someone responded, I prefer Fez. Reload's too easy. And I'm saying, you're complaining that they made Tartarus easy.
Look, sometimes you just have masochists.
There is unused dialogue that suggests a Junpei romance was planned for the female protagonist at some point. But I'm glad they didn't do it.
I'm glad they realized that was fucking dumb.
Yeah. I mentioned Akihiko.
By the way, the fact that Junpei isn't romanceable is probably the biggest indicator as to, like, if Kanji's ever going to be getting with Naoto, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Because
if they weren't meant to be romanceable, they wouldn't have been fucking romanceable in the first place, you goddamn dumbasses.
I mentioned Akihiko is the most popular pairing for the female protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Joined by AO3, Shinjiro is more popular for Tone.
Yeah, that felt more correct.
At some point in the female protagonist crowd, two of the social links that were only in the male end up falling in love with each other. And one of them was originally romanceable for the male.
That's funny.
It is funny. Oh, that's a Sylvia.
Yep.
Should I tackle that?
Might as well just to get the knowledge of what how your team will do against Fairy.
The little girl cannot die through certain social choices, which is what Steven said. However, she can become trapped in Tartarus in Portable and Reload and will die if not rescued in time. So, for these test sterilized wild Pokemon, do I knock them out first, or?
You just have to knock out as much health as you can, because the second it reaches a certain threshold, the terrestrialization will break, and you catch it.
Yeah, because I didn't think you could catch them while they're terrestrialized.
See?
Ta-da! Alright, let's catch a Sylveon. Oh boy. Hey, guess who we're going back to the Pokemon Center?
Do you not have a fucking awakening?
I probably do.
Probably for the best anyways for PP.
Yeah. Got it. First try. Technically, the shop owner does sell guns. They are Idis's weapons.
Yeah, but she's a machine. She's allowed to carry guns.
Fun fact, in the original versions, the protagonist was allowed to use any weapon that wasn't Idis's.
That's funny.
And Reload is just swords. Man, I just got Shinjo to level 99. I can't wait to use him against the final boss. I'm so sorry.
Man, I sure love my level 99 era.
When I level up my party member to level 99, only for them to die. Yeah, I'm not ready. Oh well. You don't need to. I am sure 99.9% of Katone fans do not approve of the Ken romance. I say 99.9 because there's always those.
There's always those.
Yeah. Katone Shiomi was made a canonical name in 2023 for the release of Portable. It's taken from the stage play adaptation. Unlike the others, which are taken from the anime.
So the stage play followed Portable's girl route? So the stage play followed Portable's girl route?
There's two separate versions.
I'm guessing it was Portable's stage play.
Yeah. Shit, there's still sleep. Like that bitch. Oh, that frame rate. See that frame rate drop? Can you tell we're playing on a launch edition Switch?
In fact, I'm pretty sure you still have the original fucking joy pads on.
Yeah. Well, actually, those are... I replaced those because I started drifting and I sent those to Nintendo. And they just... And when I scanned them into the Switch, they just registered as new ones.
Oh.
But they're the same colors. And it was free at least. Yeah, new South Park season starting next week.
Yeah. You excited?
Yeah. They sent out bingo card templates to have fans predict what's going to happen. Super effective. Steel. Poison and steel. Flint and steel. Minecraft's legacy. The Minecraft movie's legacy is just fucking Chicken Jockey, Jack Black just saying Minecraft things. I can get if like a young kid thinks it's a great movie, but oh, have you seen they've been casting for the live action Street Fighter movie?
Don't remind me, they all look terrible.
You seen the casting?
The most agreeable one is 50 Cent as Balrog. What does that tell you?
Jason Momoa is Blanca. I just hope movie studio heads don't take too many notes from Minecraft and decide they should have characters loudly announcing things in a in a weird voice.
No, wait. Never mind. The most agreeable one's Chun-Li. I don't remember her name, but she looks like she could do the part.
Golduck.
Say that because there's some really out there ones that make me feel like you guys are just trying to cause drama.
It's made by Sony, what do you expect?
Yeah.
The smartest movie studio. They made Morbius.
By the way, they're going to be doing that. What you said?
The Minecraft movie effect.
Yeah, they're definitely doing that. Because Street Fighter, they say their attacks.
Let's go. I guess you could say you're some kind of Street Fighter.
No, they'd be yelling at shit like Shoryuken and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, one of the lines in Minecraft is, first we mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft! Which sounds like one of those fake movie quotes you would hear.
Sounds like something a YouTuber would say.
It does. But, no, it's real. And my dad asked me, if the movie's so bad, why did it almost make $1 billion?
Because people have fun going to bad movies.
And also it's Minecraft. It would have made money regardless.
You ever seen the Phantom of the Room?
Yes. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. I've never watched the movie.
People especially love going to a theater and trashing it for no reason. Just look at it. Just look at old showings of Rocky Horror Picture Show. They did that same shit about like tossing popcorn and stuff, all like in the fucking original versions.
Chicken Jockey. Theater blows up.
That movie might unironically kill Jack Black's career. Not for anything he did, but rather just because his charisma might run out from all the memes.
Well, he's gonna be in Mario movie 2.
No, kind of like how people are sick and tired of Chris Pratt.
Jack Black's gonna come back as Bowser, and well, I don't think they're gonna rewrite the script to have Bowser do Jack Black things. Like, I present to you this ice flower.
Now, Nintendo's too controlling. They definitely wouldn't do that.
So how are we feeling about the Zelda movie, by the way? The Zelda movie?
I have no opinions on it. I know nothing.
They want to make they want to have 3 Zelda movies come out within 6 years.
Now, that's stupid.
A trilogy. Every other year. And it's being made by Sony, so they'll do like the Triforce. You must gather the Master Sword.
To be fair, that's actually part of the problem with a lot of the games. You kind of have to go for it.
It's gonna be bad. If the producer of Madam Web was involved then, there's no way.
I expect levels of accuracy up on par with a fucking Starbomb music video. If that tells you anything of how little faith I have on this movie.
I don't even know what that is.
I'll play it. That Game Grumps banned.
Oh. But you know the Game Grumps are not good games.
Yeah. The most recent thing I see that like kind of pissed people off was like yesterday they played Henry Stickmin, but they only covered one route. They didn't bother to like do all the endings or general fills. I watched that video in full, by the way.
So did I. I watched it this morning.
They sounded as dead as we do.
Well, they do it because it's their job. They spent 5 years playing Danganronpa. You think they wouldn't? You think they'd be dead? Anyway, Suichi Sarkawa sucks. Next question. Are there good V3 characters that aren't Kaede, or Maki, or Kurumi?
Shit, you got all the ones I was gonna say.
I like Himiko.
Yeah, but even she can be a bit annoying at times.
I like... We'll do a tier list for that when I'm done with my big retrospective project. But... I don't know. V3 kind of has the weakest cast.
It definitely does.
And... like, some of the characters are great, don't get me wrong. What the fuck? I've never seen
Ice Cube.
I have never seen that one.
I'm pretty sure it was in the Ice Gym. No, wait, never mind. But clearly not.
I mean, V3 has good characters.
There wasn't an Ice Gym in this game, there was a Rock Gym. No, wait. I'm being an idiot. I'm thinking of the wrong game.
Penguin Pokemon. I've actually never seen this one before.
It's from Galar.
Is there any good male V3 characters? That's not Ryoma.
Gonta, maybe?
Okay, Gonta, yeah. There, that's 6 good characters out of 16. Let's see. Rantaro is just kind of there. Suichi is...
annoying.
Tenko is annoying. Angie is a bitch. Korekio is incestuous. Mew, she's okay. Kokichi is
Annoying.
probably my least favorite character in the entire series. Who was that? Kaito
Is annoying.
is annoying. Samugi is plain and evil. That's a... Someone's gonna comment, if you guys hate Danganronpa, why do you keep talking about it? It's called an abusive relationship.
Same reason why Star Wars fans still obsessed with Star Wars even though they only like 2 movies.
Yeah. It's like a drug to us. No matter how much we try to forget, we can't. Actually, is the Penguin one exclusive to the Violet?
Probably.
Who are you?
I think it is, actually.
Interesting.
I'll get back to you on that one, and then I'll check.
Alright, are there good characters of Dangerable 1? Makoto? Kyoto?
Really, anyone who isn't like Hagakure or Toko.
Okay, is Makoto good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Kyoto good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like her.
Game froze for a second. Oh, I jumped into the base too early. Is Byakuya good?
Objectively, kind of, but I don't like him.
Is Toko good?
No.
She smells. Is Hina good?
Yeah. When she's not trying to get us all killed.
Is Hiro good?
No.
No. Is Sayaka good?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. She works. She's a good writer. She's a good, like, starter villain.
Is Mukuro good?
Lupin.
As a person, no. But the writers clearly hate her. It is sad that fucking fanfiction writers care more about Mukuro than the actual Danganronpa writers.
It's sad that, like, the spin-off writers clearly care more about Mukuro than the fucking writers.
But even then, they won't take off the wig.
Yeah.
Is Leon good? No.
Eh, he's a decent villain.
11037.
Yeah, it's a tutorial case.
Yeah. Is... who was it? Chihiro good?
Yeah.
Is Mondo good?
Yeah.
He turns into butter. Is Hifumi good?
Hell no.
Is Taka good? No.
No, that one's annoying.
Celestia.
I like her.
I just finished writing my chapter 3 section. If you're wondering why it's taking so long, I fucking hate writing. And I decided to call out how stupid Celestia was for taking the stupid money motive.
Oh yeah, no, she's an idiot, but like, that's kind of the point. She thinks she's better than she actually is.
Making sure to call out people who think she's like the smartest person out there. Sakura.
Yeah?
She good, yeah. Junko and Ashima herself.
Hell no.
Hell yes.
Okay, wait. Let's put it up. Junko in the first game, yes.
I can fix her.
Any other game, no.
No. The AI was fine, but she should have stayed dead after that.
Yeah.
2.
Like, it's telling that the AI isn't a perfect recreation, because you can kind of tell that on some level, the reason that Junko actually put her classmates through all that is because she does care about them, and that's why she doesn't like seeing them hurt, which is why she likes seeing them hurt.
2. Is Hajime good?
Yeah, ultimately, I guess.
Yeah. On one hand, he's emo, and I kind of relate to him.
He's kind of so much of an idiot, but also on another level, he's also one of the smartest people in his class.
Yeah.
By that I mean the rest of his class is worse than him.
Well, what do you expect? It's the 77th.
Yeah.
Nagito.
No.
No.
I'm gonna be upfront. Nagito and Kokichi fans are basically the same. If you know what I fucking mean, you know how that's an indictment.
My opinion on Kokichi is not at all influenced by the fans. I just think he's just a little shit that gets a little too on my nerves.
What I'm saying is that that he has the same type of fans because he's the same type of character.
I know. But like Kokichi gets a bit too on my nerves, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Chiaki, if you say no, I'm gonna shoot you.
In what world do you think I'd say no? Chiaki's the best character in this fucking game.
Exactly. Akane.
I mean, I like her, but she's a moron.
She is an idiot.
She's better than Hagakure by the facets that she's a hot girl. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's basically this game's Hagakure in the matter that she's a fucking idiot. who, like, basically is mostly just there to drag the case down.
Something that was pointing out while I watched Luigi play it is that, like, a lot of the characters, mainly Akane, says some stupid shit that's off topic during the trial.
Yeah,
and they just get back onto it by saying, anyway.
That's why I compared her to Hagakure. She's this game's Hagakure, as in, she's the moron who's there to distract everyone from the trial by bringing up some meaningless shit that doesn't fucking matter, where you're just gonna have to ignore them if you actually want to move along.
It happens a lot.
Each game has their own version of it.
Yeah. Who is next? Fucking Kazuichi.
Following up, another archetype you see in all three games. The person who's there just to muck shit up and make everything worse for everyone because they're too up their own ass to realize that no one wants them to fuck with the crime scene. Byakuya, fucking Nagito, and Kokichi.
Yeah. Is Kazuichi a good character?
No.
Okay. Is Sonya a good character?
Yes.
Is Fuyuki? That's not a question.
Yeah, Fuyuki is one of the better characters, just period.
Yeah. Is Imposter a good character?
He's not a character. But he's better than Byakuya, so yes.
Who would have known making that character but nice means they're better? Is Terror... Okay, that's not a question.
That's an automatic no.
Is Mahiro a good character?
She's better than Hiyoko.
Is Peko a good character?
Yes.
I remember when we did our whole ranting about Danganronpa, you mentioned she was like autism coded or something.
She feels kind of that way. I don't remember me ever bringing that up, but she kind of does feel that way. But like, the fact that she likes soft things, she's kind of incapable of emoting to everyone around her.
That's exactly what you said. I might use that audio in the final video. Who's next? Ibuki.
I like Ibuki.
Hiyoko.
I will say this against Ibuki though. She unfortunately has some of the more annoying, like dialogue noises, if you know what I mean.
Pointing.
Yeah. If you're playing without having to deal with that audio, though, you'll be fine.
Yahoo! Hiyoko? Come on.
God, no.
If someone says Hiyoko is best girl, I'm just gonna look them in the eye.
And I'm gonna have to also, like, ask you to fucking back up the fuck up and explain what you mean by that.
Hey, can I see your computer for a second?
And for God's sake, you better be talking about Danganronpa 3, Hiyoko.
Mikon.
Yes. Controversial, I think, but like...
Yeah, but...
She is, in fact, a good character. Especially because she actually makes a valid, like, a killer for the way she does.
Her motive was stupid, though.
Her motive was stupid, but it worked, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's a good way to tell you that, like, hey... It's a good way to tell you, hey, this class is fucking insane.
You don't say. Who was next? Nekomaru. I think he should have died when he died.
Yeah, he should have died when he died.
The whole bringing him back as a robot only for him to die again was dumb. Ooh.
I'm gonna be upfront, I think they only did it because they needed Gundam to kill somebody, but they didn't want to kill any of the other characters off.
Alright, looks like this guy's strong against this card.
Especially because, realistically speaking, Nekomaru is the only one who would go along with Gundam's whole death fight.
That's all.
Like, he's literally the only one who would go along with that shit.
Ultra Despair Girls. Is Komaru a good character?
She's probably the best character in her game.
The doctor who played Persona 3 Fez and saw Menace and was like, this is fun. Hey, sister! Except now, replace us with brother.
Like I mentioned, she's the best character in her game, which isn't saying much, actually.
Which one of these is the strongest? This one. Who is are any of the kids good? Because I don't want to list them individually. Shit.
The blue-haired one?
Narisa.
He's the one that comes quickest to the realization that he's being fucking, like, tricked.
Yeah.
I also kind of don't want to hold too much against the pink-haired one, but also, she's probably the one that's the reason for the worst scenes in that game. Like, I feel bad for her because of what's happened to her, but also, she's directly responsible for some of the worst content in this franchise.
Is it wrong for a child to do this?
Yes.
Well, but it's wrong for an adult to do it too.
Yeah. It's just wrong. You probably shouldn't have put this in the game.
It's the exact opposite of child porn, so it's A-okay to play
No, it
a video
isn't.
game.
No, it isn't. Komaru is still a child. Like, she's 17.
Is Toto good in Ultra Despair Girls?
She's better than she was in Dan River 1.
Is Haiji Toa?
Hell no.
I like him younger. As young as possible. And that one whole line saying his entire characterization. Or reputation.
Yeah.
And then Kamaru was like, the fact that he just admitted it out in the open is kind of hot.
To be fair, I think that the idea was that they're too idiotic to realize that, but I mean the writers are too big of idiots to realize, yeah, no, she's literally in his age range, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if they should have, like, thought of that through. Then again, I'm giving them too much credit to even think that they weren't being malicious about that. No, they very much fought at the idea of having Haiji and Kamaru fuck.
Is Yasuhiro's mom good?
She's way better than her son.
Alright, 3, is Chisa good?
She's good for the parts where she's her own character. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Is Munakata good?
Well, he's one of the better characters from that season.
I can't get over how he literally told Makoto to just kill himself.
I mean, he's an idiot who's being manipulated, but we know for a fact that that's the case. He's being manipulated.
What about Juzo?
Look, those 3 are probably the best characters in this season, I'll say that much.
Okay.
But Juzo's a fucking asshole, so no.
Juzo is responsible for Hajime saying yes to the East Route.
Yeah.
He's also
responsible for not taking down Junko fast enough.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care how terrified you are of being rejected for being gay. End of the line! Kill the bitch!
What's her? Seiko.
Seiko's a good character.
Yeah. Ruruka.
Ruruka is a hateable character.
My sister liked her for some reason.
But that doesn't make her a bad character.
I don't remember her boyfriend's name. Ruruka's boyfriend.
He's not there.
Yeah. When he died, I literally...
Let's be honest here, there was more romantic tension between Ruruka and Seiko.
Yeah. When he died, I literally screamed really loudly and cheered, and my sister was like, "No!"
I'm not kidding here. I'm being upfront here. It honestly felt like Ruruka had more emotional feelings towards Seiko than her own boyfriend. Because her own boyfriend's basically just a puppet.
What about Tengen?
Tengen fucking sucks.
Okay. What about Koichi? The guy with the hat.
Oh, he was fine.
What about Ryota, the animator?
He sucked. He was the biggest cop out of how Junko got away with it.
Yeah. What about Mukuro in 3? But is that even a question?
Yeah, she sucks in that.
I think they took a little too much from Metis.
Yeah. I feel like the series would be better if they just dropped some of the Persona fan bullshit, if you know what I mean.
He had an interview recently, and he said, one of the questions was, what are your favorite games? And he said, I like the Persona series.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Contra's Bad Fur Day.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically the Xbox remake, because that actually came out in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Couldn't Kodaka come up with better games?
100 line.
No, I'm talking about like...
True. Was Kaede good?
Didn't we already go over everything?
Yeah. We did. There was another question that... two other questions that stood out to me in that interview is, how did you come up with the mastermind for Danganronpa 1? And he said, well, the number one rule of detective stories is basically, don't make the mastermind a twin. So that's why I did it.
I can understand why that's the rule. It feels like a cop-out.
Yeah. And the other one was, if there was a Danganronpa fighting game, who would you like to play as? And he said, well, he likes the idea of a Danganronpa fighting game, and
he would.
Hopes it gets made someday. And he says Sakura feels like an obvious choice.
Mm-hmm.
While he would like to see Hiro or Hifumi because they're characters you wouldn't expect in a fighting game.
Hey, look, Jacob.
Yep. Family Guy death pose. Oh my god. Danganronpa fighting game, I would add Ibuki as a character and give her a flamethrower. Really, if Danganronpa gets a new game before Ace Attorney, I'm gonna flip.
Yeah.
Back in what day? Wow, I got crypto.
The next is the Last Titan.
Still going through this cutscene.
I'm just telling you ahead of time.
I sent like a different server I'm in, like pictures of Metis being a syscon, and someone said, "Was someone in the writing team into this?"
Honestly, probably.
Was she that bad in Fez, or did Reload make her worse?
No, she was worse in Fez.
Well,
because remember, Reload went out of its way to try and make it so she was less annoying.
Reload added Tartarus conversations like Memento's conversations were, which means that's where most of the "Hey sister" stuff comes from. And she was like, "Oh my god, I's in a school uniform. Let's go."
Okay, that's fair. But I'm talking like the main actual plot of the story.
Yeah.
So it's like give or take.
The plot is the same, except they do add like scenes that
explain shit,
and where they actually hang out with each other and stuff. And I guess Reload doing the whole making all the seas closer does make the situation in the answer a bit more believable. Because they're all sad about Makoto's death when they were also distant in the original game. Anyway, I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'll be right back.